Hello everyone, my name is Cullen Haskins. I'm a very successful entrepreneur. Started my first business at the age of 24 and was completely financially free by the time I was 27 years old. Been home with my beautiful wife Trinity and our 5 amazing kids for the past 10 years, actually over a decade. And there's some things that I learned along the way that I would love to share with you. And the first thing I would like to do is acknowledge you and congratulate you for being open to learning. When I got introduced to building an ongoing income stream, I was quite skeptical. It was not something I was raised to believe growing up. I was raised to go get a good job, work really, really hard, and that company was going to take care of me. And of course, I learned that that was not the case for long-term security. And so, from that perspective, I became more open and I started investigating different vehicles to build an ongoing income stream. And I would like to share with you some things that I've learned. I'm going to go through information very, very quickly. It's going to be a super, super short video. But in this video, one of the things I wanted to make sure everybody understood is my little disclaimer. This all is coming from my experience, of course. I'm not judging anyone, I'm not judging any company. I'm not trying to put anybody down. There's lots of ways to make money out there. However, I've just found that some of the things that I've learned, there are better ways of creating an ongoing income. All the examples I'm about to use are approximations and for references only. They are estimations, you guys, which means I'm just going to try to use round figures and try to get my points across in order to let you know certain things that I noticed when evaluating different business systems. Now, for me, you guys, when I got introduced to the idea of working from home, I looked into a whole bunch of businesses. Most of them look like this. They were horizontal marketing structures, and they were all a copy of corporate America. You see, back in the 50s, the home-based business industry started right around there, and what ended up happening is and it might have been a decade earlier, who knows, but the reality is this, is that they took a copy of what corporate America does. So this is what any corporate structure looks like. This is real estate, insurance, franchises, multi-level marketing companies. So multi-level marketing companies took the same structure that corporate America used, put it in the home. And what happens is that all of these individuals are technically working in competition of each other. If you look at this guy versus this woman, let's say, now the person above is all benefiting from them as well. As the money flows, so here's one thing I'll say right quick. It doesn't matter what products you're selling, okay? Ultimately, most home-based businesses got started because a couple of people had a great idea of some great products, and they said, what's the easiest way for us to get the distribution? What's the easiest way for us to get this to end consumers? What's the cheapest way for us to get it to end consumers? And they said, oh, multi-level marketing. Let's put it in a home-based business. The reality is this, though. I'm not going to get into every specific product that people sell out there, but let's just say that if the company is more than 5 years old, I'm sure the products that you're marketing are great. But let's get into how we get paid. Now, how come more people don't understand how they get paid? Well, because they never got into a business in order to get paid. A lot of people get into a home-based business. Probably 90% of the people get into a home-based business because of a friend or family member showing them some kind of product. They liked the product, they got in. They liked the person, they got in. But they had no idea exactly how they got paid because that wasn't a priority to them. And then all of a sudden along the way, they got really excited. They were moving some products, and then they wanted to get paid. And of course, then they maybe weren't getting paid what they thought they should be getting paid based on the time and effort they were putting in. So in reality, in this picture, you guys, you have all of these people in competition of each other. And so therefore, if this gentleman right here sells whatever it is, the product it is that he's selling, and then she does not get a cut of that. And so everybody is all in competition of each other. But then they might be getting a piece of what the person does below them, okay? And so let's use some simple math here. If this person sells, widget A, after she sells widget A, she should be getting a retail profit, okay? Because that's how a traditional business would work, right? You sell a burger to somebody at the drive-thru, you sell a sub sandwich, whatever it might be, and there's profit involved in that sub sandwich, right? Well, in a lot of home-based businesses, some of them don't even give you a retail profit, which I think is a no-no, in my opinion, because I want people making money out of the gate. All right, number two, they get paid a back end. So you get paid retail, but you also get paid a back end income which is the commission, which is the ongoing income. Now, this should be most important to you if you are picking a business to create an ongoing income. Now, this is where it gets exciting if you understand math, okay? And now I know for some of us out there, and me included, I'm a little more right-brained, woohoo, like to have a ton of fun. But at the end of the day, I gotta take two fists, pound my head, and say, wakey, wakey, left side brain, and make sure I'm following the math here because this is what was going to get me home with my kids. So let's use a simple equation. Let's use a multivitamin as an equation. I like to pick a product that is easy to sell, and there's a huge market. First of all, over 50% of Americans and people around the world are taking a multivitamin. Number two, what is it priced to sell at? Okay, and what are people already spending on a multivitamin should be your next question if you're running a business from your home. Okay, so the average person is spending $25 a month on a multivitamin, so $75 for a 90-day supply. So number one is you want your multivitamin to come in at less money than that, if possible. And the reason you want that is because then it will be easy to transfer their buying habits from whoever they're buying the multivitamin to you. Is that simple enough? That's how I looked at business. So if they're spending 75 a quarter on a multivitamin, your multivitamin is going to end up being, let's say, $55 for a 90-day supply. So do I beat the competition on price? Absolutely. Now, do I beat them on quality? Well, a lot of times I find people in home-based businesses are always really love the quality of the product. So I'm assuming the quality of your product is fantastic. But what you don't want to do is put yourself into a home-based business where you have to oversell people. I call it overhyping the product. And it's unbelievable, and this product regrows arms and this and that. It's outrageous claims that people are making. First of all, you shouldn't be making any claims to begin with, but the other thing you got to be careful with is this. If you have to overhype it in order to sell it because the product is priced so high, what are the odds they're going to reorder? Even if the product works pretty good, let's say, the odds are that people are going to drop off as customers, okay? Or they could drop off as distributors if that's how the company is structured, okay? Which is obviously not good if you're in business to make an ongoing income. Let's break down the math on that. If you're selling it for 55, your distributor cost should be around 40, okay? Right around 40. And if your distributor cost is around 40, you should be profiting around $15, let's say. It should be around 30% markup in order for you to make some retail profit right out of the gate. And that's important, you guys, because there's people in the home-based business world who are not going to go out and recruit people right out of the gate. It's way outside their comfort zone. All right, I learned that a long time ago. I gotta love people right where they're at. So ultimately, let's make them money, make them some money. But now let's talk about the volume ratio. All right, and a lot of companies that are structured like the one you're looking at, the volume ratio could be between 20 and 50% volume ratio. All right, so let's take the high end of that, 50% volume ratio. So if your cost was $40, distributor cost, you sold it for 55, your volume ratio comes off of your cost, $40. So you'd be getting 20 points going into your bank account. I'm calling it BV, PBV, I don't care what you call it. But those volume points are going to add up towards your commission check. Now, let me ask you this. What if your volume ratio was higher? What if your distributor cost was 40 and your volume ratio was 30 or 35 or maybe in some cases 40, depending upon the product you were selling? Wouldn't that be fantastic? Well, that means your points are going to add up quicker. That means you're going to make money quicker. That's simple math, you guys. What I learned is this, in a lot of companies, as this adds up though, let's say this young lady sells 10 multivitamins this week, all right? So she made, $15 a bottle, 10 bottles, so it's $150 retail profit, cha-ching, in Hip National Bank. Next, the points are going to add up, all right? So the points, so let's say it's 30 points, all right? We're going to go 30 points because her distributor cost was 40. In a typical multi-level marketing structure, you guys, what would happen is she sold it, and so she created 300 points, right? 10 customers, 30 points each, 300 points. Well, she wouldn't even get credit for the 300 points. She would get credit for a small percentage of that. So she might get credit for 10% of what she sold out of the 300, okay? So 10% of 300 is what? 30. So she got credit for 30 points, but the guy above her would be the one getting credit for, let's say, 30%, okay? 20%. You do the math, I know what you want. What would happen is everybody would pass it up. So this person got credit for 20% of that 300, and the person right here got credit for what? They would get credit for, let's say, 35%. As it goes up, everybody got a higher percentage credit than the person who actually sold the product. Now, in my opinion, that's counterintuitive. I would rather give 100% credit to the young lady here who sold it, and then give everybody the same credit. So if she sold it, she should get credit for 300. This person gets credit for 300. This person gets credit for 300. And then that eliminates the dissension in the ranks, that eliminates the competition, you see. And so ultimately, that holds people in the business because everybody's making money. Now, traditionally, in a multi-level marketing company, you're only paid so many levels deep. Well, why is that? In a lot of companies, you're paid first, second, third, fourth, maybe 7 levels deep down, you guys. Why is that? Well, because there's only so much money to be handed out. And since you're getting paid on levels and percentages, hence multi-level marketing, okay? As you pass up that 300 that this lady generated, okay, everybody took a piece of the pie until you ran out of, obviously, the volume that was generated. Well, you can't pay anybody anymore on that. That's just how these companies were created. And in most cases, you guys, these companies have a monthly pay cycle, monthly quotas that need to be met. If you don't meet these monthly quotas, your volume will erase to 0 at the end of a month, and you get paid nothing. Well, I learned when I was evaluating these different companies, I wasn't interested in earning nothing, and I wasn't interested in putting people into a business where I felt like in 10 to 15 hours a week, I didn't feel like I didn't feel like the masses would be able to duplicate what's being asked in order to generate the volume needed in order to create an ongoing income stream. Also, in a lot of multi-level marketing companies, this person or this, let's say it's this guy right here, okay? Let's say he is a superstar and he's tearing it up. Well, when he hits a certain level that you're at, all right, there's what they call a breakaway, or you manage out, or I don't care what you want to call it. The reality is this guy leaves your sales organization and comes out here. And now when you were getting paid 20% of what this gentleman was doing, you only get paid 1%, or you might get paid 0%. And now your income just dropped significantly. I met a lady a number of years back who was part of a multi-level marketing company. And in 1 year, she had earned in excess of $10,000 in a 4-week cycle. She was getting paid monthly. And that's phenomenal, you guys. Unbelievable. The problem is that her best friend was getting ready to leave her organization. She's getting ready to manage out. So she was getting paid 20%. Now she's going to get paid 1% of her efforts of her team. Okay. And what ends up happening is she has to replace her. So now her income that was paying her $10,000 is now paying her $800 is what she was estimating for the next month. Is that ongoing income? It is. Do you feel like you got punched in the gut? Absolutely. Are you a little irritated? Oh, this lady was flaming hot. She didn't know that's exactly how it worked. And since probably 90% of the distributors with this company never reached that level or don't have people in their organizations reaching that level, most people don't know how it worked, right? So you kind of feel like, all right, well, I get it, but I don't like it, right? But that's what you agreed to. That's what the company does, all right? The other thing that happens is this, in a lot of multi-level marketing companies, horizontal strategies, you guys, you put the volume here and it flows up because why? You did the work. You put it into your business and it flows up. And in a lot of cases, you don't even get credit on your own personal volume you've generated for the month. So that 100 or that 10 customers that all bought a multivitamin from you, that just flows up and the people above you got credit for it. Well, I don't get it. I mean, if you did the work, you should expect to get credit, right? And that's the way it should work. Now, ultimately, one of the last things I wanted to mention is in a lot of the cases, these multi-level marketing companies are manufacturers. They own the manufacturing facility. And so since they own the manufacturing facility or they want the company to be very profitable, you hear this a lot. Your products are too expensive. And you have customers going, well, I like it, but the product is too expensive. And you're always trying to overcome price. A lot of that has to do with the either being the manufacturer, guys, or number two, they obviously want to make a lot of money as a company, and they want you out there doing the work, doing the parties, doing the home presentations, driving the traffic, and then therefore they give you a piece, okay? But at the end of the day, they built the company for who? The company. No different than any traditional business, franchise, insurance agency, real estate company. It's all about the company being successful, because if the company's not successful, you wouldn't have a job. So it is what it is. Now, one thing I learned was a horizontal strategy. What if we took all of these people and we stacked them vertically? What if we stacked them vertically, but we eliminated the levels and percentages? We eliminated, building 7 people wide or even 3 people wide. Why? Because the average person can't do that part-time while they're still working a job. What if we paid you infinitely deep? What if the company was willing to do an infinite search and you got 100% credit for all the sales volume generated? What if there were no breakaways, no roll-ups? Never. Nobody ever leaves your sales and distribution organization. All right. What if you had over 1 million products and services to choose from? Okay. What if the volume ratio, your points per dollar was over, 80, 85% volume ratio on average, representing a whole bunch of different products? What if for 80,000 in volume, you could get paid about 21,000 to 27,000 in ongoing income, versus in the multi-level structure for 80,000 in volume on average, you're going to get paid $4,000 to $5,000. Same amount of volume in sales, same amount of effort, okay? But you're getting paid a lot more money on the ongoing income. What if there was a licensed training system, step by step by step, different divisions, different trainings, different certifications to make sure everybody could make money? Not training where you hear about somebody's car, somebody's house, this and that, all right? No, I'm talking step by step by step what you need to do. What if the volume accrued in everybody's bank account? So if this gentleman right here, let's use the same example. He sold 10 to 10 customers the multivitamin. He made his $150 profit on the retail front end, okay? But we want the back end income, right? So let's say his volume ratio, 80, 82%, somewhere in there. Let's say that it comes back and he generates the 300 points. The 300 points then hit his bank account. He gets 100% credit for that. And it goes 300, 300, 300, 300. You get 300. If everybody gets credit for the 300, is everybody going to be excited? Absolutely. So what about getting paid on 100% of the volume generated from the team? That'd be unbelievable, right? What if there was no end of the month? There's no 30-day cutoff, all right? How long would you want your points add up in your bank account? Met with another person who's doing a multi-level marketing company this past week. And the reality, guys, is that she has an end of the month. If certain quotas aren't met between the sales organization and her, then of course her volume resets to zero. And she's got a lot of people on her team that volume is resetting to zero. They're getting frustrated and they're quitting at the end of the month, right? So people are lasting 30, 60, 90 days at most, and then they quit. Well, what if there was no end of the month? What if everybody's volume generated in their bank account accrued for 365 days from the date the order was generated by the customer? Wouldn't that be exciting? Absolutely, it'd be unbelievable, right? What if you got paid weekly? Weekly, of course, right? What if you got paid weekly, and every week the computer searches to infinity down your left, to infinity down your right, and you got paid on 100% of the volume generated below you? Wouldn't that be fantastic? Yeah, it'd be unbelievable, right? What if you were allowed, now watch this, and if you get this, you won't sleep, guys. What if you were allowed to take your sale? So let's say you did the 300 this week, 10 customers multivitamin, 10 customers to, a cosmetic product, 10 customers that are buying websites from you, you name it, right? Multiple products. You pick the division you want to specialize in. What if you were able to take that 300 and you placed it down to anybody you personally brought into the company? And you take that 300 down here to this new guy, John, let's say, and 300 hits his bank account towards his commissions, right? So it goes 300, 300, 300, 300, 300. Now, John didn't see it, use it, sell it. You did. You placed it all the way down to him. He got 100% credit for your efforts in this whole pyramid thing, right? That's another thing that I think is funny, right? Is it a pyramid, Cullen, where the people top make all the money, right? Well, with this system, you guys, if he got credit for 300, and does he care that everybody else got 300? No, as long as he got 300. And in the example I'm sharing with you, these people, all right, this husband and a wife, all right, me and my wife, let's say, we don't care. We take that 300 and we place it down to the lowest person, John. We just put him into the business, 300 in his bank account. He didn't see it, use it, sell it. We did. And he gets 300, 300, 300, 300. We get 300 anyways. Unbelievable when you really understand the power of that. Now, the only way that could work, because I know some of you are mathematicians, is if you cap your income at 100 grand a year. So why would you ever want to cap your income? Why? Because you want more people on your team to make money. Over and out. Would you be willing to cap your income if you knew your whole sales team were going to make more money? Well, that's what I bought into. I bought into anti-corporate America, anti-pyramid, anti-dog eat dog, where everybody's out trying to, ultimately, steal people's customers, call everybody at the end of the month, hey, do you got an order to place? All this pressure that they're putting on people, customers, you name it. I wanted to build a business to where I could generate more income from more people, and then therefore more people would become successful. More people that are successful, the more money, all right, they will make, and the more secure your $100,000 a year income that you're capped at the top will work. It'll be locked in. Wouldn't that be fantastic? See, a lot of people get greedy and they go, well, I want to make $1 million and I want to drive a Ferrari and all this. And it's, you know what? Nothing wrong with having nice things. Nothing wrong with making $1 million. But at the end of the day, if you have an organization of people who are not making money, that is not ongoing income long term, it will fall apart. People will quit and you'll have to rebuild constantly. All right. This is the difference between the two structures, you guys, is about 80% retention versus 80% attrition. That's the difference between the two structures I just showed you guys. And you know why? It's math. And that's it. So listen, if you want to make more money in this system, you can. You just cannot do it at the top. You got to take yourself and put yourself back in underneath your team. Put yourself back in under John. All right, build 2 more teams under John. Everything flows up through that next business you put in. Flows up through John, flows up through these guys, and you get credit here anyways if you're short. All right, that's how you can make more than 100 grand a year. So for those of you that are like, well, I never want to be capped, I want to be unlimited income, you can do unlimited income with this structure too, guys. But at the end of the day, you can't do it at the top. This is all about getting more people paid on less volume, which will require less people on your team than any system or structure out there in the world. And that's why I chose it over a decade ago. So here's what I'll end with. If I pique some curiosity out of you, if you're somebody who says that makes a lot of sense and this answers a lot of questions of why maybe some of these other systems and structures were not working for you, then I would love to talk to you. I would love to just answer some questions. I would love to explain more information. Heck, check out another webinar where I explain more in detail exactly how this would even work. And let's run the flag up the pole.